Have you ever wanted to like see the dead or talk to the dead? Well, now you can on the comfort of your iPhone. Any child can access this and use this however they please. And I think that whether you believe in the paranormal or not, this is still really weird and creepy. Like, why are these apps a thing? How do they even work? Also, hi, my name is Grace. This is Casper. He's in a lot of my videos in the background. I talk about like true crime and paranormal and all things like spooky and freaky. Thanks for clicking on my video. I'm not gonna make you listen to me babble about boring stuff you don't care about, so we'll get into it. The first app I want to talk about is called the Ghost Radar app. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this. I feel like it used to go viral in like 2016 when everybody was like ghost hunting. It's essentially the free version of a spirit box. If you don't know, I'm a paranormal investigator. That's why I have all of this equipment up there. What a spirit box actually does, not the app, the spirit box, is it flips through radio channels with a mix of like white noise and random words. And paranormal investigators think that ghosts can use it to talk by picking out words or sounds that they want to communicate. And a lot of the times things line up with the circumstances that you're in. Once I was in this asylum and it was haunted and abandoned. I say that shit too casually. I was in an asylum and I was right by a bathtub and we were flipping through the channels on this and we looked it up later and a person had drowned in the bathtub.
There's a bathtub. I want to try it in here.
Did something happen in here? So back to the app. This app essentially tells you that it does the same thing. And I've done a lot of investigations with people who bring me into their house or their business. And, you know, they don't always own this like expensive equipment. And so they use the Ghost Radar app. And they tell me that the Ghost Radar app did tell them things that were related to like the paranormal situations that were going on. We also went like randonauting once by the Amityville Horror House and the same thing kind of happened. But like my question is like, do the ghosts like log into the app? Like this is like a handheld radio in a way, but your phone is so complicated. And I get that like, you know, I've heard like people walk into a room that's haunted and their phone will suddenly die. Like I heard about that stuff, but how could the Ghost Radar app really be a thing? Like how would the ghosts be able to communicate through it and know what to do? I feel like there's no scientific way to back it up. Like all of the data backing it up is more like randomly generated words, because that's essentially what it is. Like it's not reading the environment around it. It's not using like electromagnetic frequencies or like sound waves. Like there's no way to tell how they're actually tuning in, like to the app. I think it's a bunch of creepy coincidences. Like whenever people are like, well, I used the Ghost Radar app and this happened, I'm like, okay, we'll see. I also think like people are wanting an answer, so they'll see a word and they'll try to relate it to whatever is going on to their situation to validate how they're feeling. But this is a free app. It's in the App Store. You can download it. I think there might be a paid version. And if you want to try communicating with a ghost, go for it, I guess. See how you like it, see what's up. I will say it is a very nice, cheap, free way to experiment with paranormal investigation. If you think you're like interested in that stuff but don't know for sure, like there's no harm in trying it out. Like I would go somewhere like abandoned or like somewhere that you've heard is haunted and see what you get from it. I think it could be interesting. The next app we're going to talk about is called Dark Echo. And Dark Echo helps you experience the creepy world of the night, where it's dark and you can't see anything, but you can only hear. And it uses sound to mess with your mind and build tension to turn your imagination against you. And in this app, you walk around and your footsteps reveal the environment around you. And the catch is these same sounds are like attracting creatures that are lurking in the darkness. And the game's description has a warning to it. It says, trapped in darkness. You must use visualized sound to navigate through dangerous environments, but be careful. What helps you see might also attract an unspeakable evil that devours both sound and souls. This app is more like a game, but if there's some sort of like paranormal entity around you, it might come over and help you play this game. It might become part of like the echo. And this is a game with levels, so each level challenges you to survive as the tensions build. And at first, you're just walking around and exploring, but at some points, you have to be running for your life. Like, this game is designed to keep you on edge, and it's best played with headphones, obviously. And I would play it like in the darkness somewhere or in the woods. But if you're easily scared, you might want to think twice before downloading this one. Now, the last game we're gonna talk about is Spirit Board. Now, if you've ever played a Ouija board in real life, and I don't mess with that stuff, I have a story about why I don't mess with it, and I can tell it to you another time. I don't like messing around with that stuff. I only like talking to what is there. I don't wanna be inviting things in. I don't want to be summoning things. And that's essentially what a Ouija board does. Because they can also disguise themselves as something else. You can think you're talking to like your dead grandma, but actually you could be talking to a demon. But the Spirit Board app is a digital version of the Ouija board. And it claims that it works by listening to the user's voice. But like the whole thing is like you have to have your hand on the planchette and then it moves your hand back and forth like the entity that you're talking to. So I don't really understand how that would work, and I don't want to try it. But you speak into the app and you ask the spirit on the other end, because it's on the phone with you, I guess. You ask them a question and then they will answer via the spirit board. So I guess you're having a phone call with a demon in this one. And you know, you might be thinking like, oh, that doesn't sound that scary. Talking to a spirit is not necessarily scary, but you don't want to provoke them. You might make them angry. But I think this one has to be BS. It's the same thing as the Ghost Radar app. I don't know how the ghosts would know to like pick up the phone. Like, you obviously have to program the app, so I don't think this one could be real. But that being said, I'm not taking any chances. But then it says here that you should move the planchette to goodbye if you anger the spirit. So I'm wondering if you have the option to move the planchette around, and the app has a countdown. You have to finish your conversation before the countdown, which is wild, and you have to say goodbye before the countdown. You always have to say goodbye when you play the Ouija board. It's really bad if you don't. It could let the spirit into our world. So the fact that the app is like, yeah, we'll cut you off and then you'll be screwed, that's crazy. Something bad might happen to you if you don't say goodbye. And in my case, something bad did happen. But if you're gonna use this app, let me tell you what you're getting into. There are some eerie app store reviews. One says that the spirit board told him a girl named Carol was with him and she ordered him to make it stop. And you see, when I read that, I thought like, make the app stop, like say goodbye, go away. But the user says that he had just finished watching the movie Make It Stop. And when he asked what she meant, because maybe he was like, do I leave or are you talking about the film? She said, the clown. So this app probably like does like listen to your surroundings a little bit maybe, or maybe I'm giving it too much credit. When he asked where the clown was, Carol said, behind you, outside, and then front door. The reviewer then claimed, this is a review on the App Store. He claimed that he looked outside his front door and he saw a shadowy figure with big hair, yellow eyes, and a white smile. In the user's own words, I tried to say goodbye once more, but before I could say goodbye, the pentagram went halfway across my screen and said, open the door. I hear a knock, and then my phone glitched out. And there are plenty other more like creepy stories about people's experiences with these apps in the Google reviews. It's really interesting, but is it real? Probably not. These apps are all on the App Store and you're welcome to use them at your own risk. I didn't tell you to go on there. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Check out some recommended videos. And my Instagram is grace.mitcherlake, same as my username. See you next time and stay spooky.